Hi, everybody. Welcome to the episode of In the School Parking Lot. I'm your host. My name is Paul Everts. You can reach me by email address, and I wish you would. It's BAND, the number 2, together, bandtogether, Comcast.net. You can also go to our handy day website. Check me out there. Where this book is. Oh, that book. Look at that book. Ooh-wee. ConductingMyLife.com. You'll see I'm a speaker, trainer, coach for the John Maxwell team. John Maxwell? You don't know who John Maxwell is? John Maxwell is a New York Times bestselling author about leadership and really just about being better people. Our saying is better people make better leaders, and we need more of those. Just a real brief 30-second who I am. I'm a high school music teacher who's now 4th through 12th grade music teacher at a local charter school near Roseville, California. I was in the public school system for a long time until April 2021, when the principal said, hey, you need to keep Jesus Christ in the parking lot. And that principal becomes the HR guy. And in October 6th, 2021, hey, can't say I love you to your students anymore. It's unprofessional. It's just weird. And the other thing is that you got to get off social media. It's triggering students. Union said nothing. All right, here we go. So today is episode 20. It's the 20th of July. Again, I go over an article that I found, and then I read from a book. All right, here we go. Ready? I quit. Emotions high at Loudoun School's transgender policy meeting. Vote expected. This is by NBC staff, Washington staff writer, and Drew Wilder. This is published August 10th, 2021. 2021, that's 3 years ago. And I'm reading this actually during Pride Month, just so you know. So let's look at the article. Again, August 10th, 2021, the Loudoun County School Board delayed its vote on a policy on the treatment of transgender students, following more than 4 hours of emotional public comments. One speaker, who said she was a teacher, quit her job on the spot over the proposed policy. The parking lot Tuesday resembled the crowd for a campaign rally. To get inside, more than 150 people waited for their number to be called by a megaphone by a school employee. Once a speaker's number was called, they could walk through security and wait in a hallway until they were allowed to weigh in at a school board meeting that hardly resembled a school board meeting. During public comment, substitute teacher Emily Hart said the proposed policy would violate her religious rights. She said it would force teachers to act against their sincerely held religious beliefs. For the same reason, Laura Morris, a woman who said she's been a full-time teacher in Loudoun County for 5 years, quit her job during her speaking time. She said, "School board, I quit. I quit your policies. I quit your training, and I quit being a cog in a machine that tells me to push highly politicized agendas on our most vulnerable constituents, the students. I will find employment elsewhere," end of quote. The Loudoun County School Board recessed its meeting just before 8:30 p.m. Chair Brenda L. Sheridan asked the school board to consider a motion to recess after Superintendent Scott Ziegler said it would take 90 minutes to reset the school board meeting room to allow the public to view the remainder of the meeting. And it goes on from there. I think 3 years later, it hasn't changed. I notice it. I've had it in my classroom. I've had students ask me to display the pride flag, and I said, no, I'm not going to display the pride flag. The only flag that should be flown in a public school classroom is the United States flag. Well, I don't feel like I'm part of the United States. That's your feeling. That's not a fact. That's a feeling. The fact is, if you're an American citizen, that flag represents you. Whether or not you like it, that represents you, not the rainbow flag. The rainbow flag does not represent everybody in this room. So when that student asked me, she started laughing, started making fun of me. The 3 seniors that I had did not participate in the graduation. We're training kids how to be activists. That's what we're doing. And I would like it to be not the case, but I think it's the case. We're training them how to be activists. So when you look at this article that was from August the 10th, 2021, and these teachers are upset about policies, those policies are probably now in place. I don't know. Loudoun County has done a good job pushing back on this stuff. I think what we need to do again is refocus. Parents send their children to learn, yes, basics, reading, writing, arithmetic. That's what they're sending them for. This social stuff is not what they're sending them for. That's why there are numbers dropping in public education still. As of June 18th, when I read this, as of July 20th, 2024, unless things change in a month, I don't think they're changing. So if you're uncomfortable, I left. And I left a lot of money on the table. But I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it. I choose not to do it. Of course I could do it. I choose not to do it. I couldn't hide secrets from parents anymore. Are you kidding me? You'll be hide secrets from parents? I was told, it was like maybe 15 years ago. That's it. Longer than that. 20 years ago. I had a student who was having a problem. And I kept it secret because I didn't want the father to get mad. Well, now, oh man, I would be getting Teacher of the Year for keeping that secret, right? That's how far things have changed in 20 years. The principal got so mad at me. He said, you know that father could sue you for keeping that secret? Don't keep it secret. Now, you get sued because you didn't keep it a secret. Let's go to this book real fast. Great book. You're not going to see this book in college campuses because the colleges of education are not giving two sides of a story. Okay? This is what I'm telling you. Good stuff in here. There are a lot of footnotes. All right, here we go. Real fast. Cooperative Learning, Communist Ideology, and the Classroom. Charlotte Thompson Iserbyt, Iserbyt, The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. This is her quote. She says, the reason why Americans do not understand this war is because it has been fought in secret. In the schools of our nation, targeting our children who are captive in the classroom. So for years, Charlotte Iserbyt has been warning us that public education has been taken over by small C communists. As a senior staff member in the United States Department of Education, Charlotte had access to the correspondence and grant proposals of America's top educational cooperatives. She put all of the documentation in her book, The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America, published 25 years ago, 1999. The book is available online. Again, that's The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. Cooperative learning, as described by the student, is indeed a good example of communist ideology in the classroom. The student is not judged by his individual effort, but as a group member of a group. It was progressive socialist theorists such as Gordon Allport, George Herbert Mead, Clifford Shaw, and John B. Watson who first began advancing the idea that working in a group was educationally more effective for students than working individually. But in actuality, group learning has never improved the work of the low achiever. Okay, let's do some other things. In traditional classroom, each student is an individual responsibility for his own achievement. And since each student is different in his learning abilities and the amount of effort he puts into his work, the outcome for each student should or would be different. But according to the socialists, individualism creates a competitive spirit that is opposed to a collective spirit which is needed in a socialist society. Sorry, I got my teeth worked on. Competition, of course, is a hallmark of a capitalist, individualistic society. Socialist philosophers in the 1930s and 1940s believed in cooperative learning. John Dewey thought students should learn social skills that would be helpful outside the classroom, in society. Of course we do. Gosh darn it. He and his colleagues wanted students to discuss information in groups rather than receive information by listening to a teacher. Oh my gosh. Skipping down. Most Americans don't know the difference between socialism and capitalism and are easily seduced by the concepts of fairness and income distribution, as if wealth were not earned by individuals but distributed from the poor to the rich, as if the poor have anything to give to the rich. The absurd notion that we ought to give back to the poor what they never had is a form of socialist lunacy. It is totally irrational, but who among the left cares? As one teacher at the Hancock County High School in Kentucky wrote in 1993 in the Hancock Clarion, quote, "For a dissident, teaching in the public schools today is similar to living under a Stalinist reign of terror. Many teachers submit their horror stories and misgivings to anonymous publications or ask legislators not to quote these teachers for fear of repercussions," end of quote. All across America, more and more parents are opposed to what is going on in the public schools. But activist parents are labeled extremism. Activist parents are labeled troublemakers. They're censors. They're religious bigots, fanatics, fascists, and so on. This is done to neutralize the vast majority of parents who do not want to get involved, who do not like controversy, or who go along to get along. The good news is that the homeschool movement continues to grow. And it goes on from there about homeschool. And let's just read this last part then. Homeschooling is no longer considered an unusual and antisocial practice. Homeschooling is now accepted as a legitimate and highly effective way of educating children. But lurking in the wings are those socialist educators who would like to outlaw homeschooling. They argue that the state has the right, if not the duty, to control the education of its children. Indeed, the socialists believe that the state owns all children and that the parents are mere caretakers. Last paragraph. Meanwhile, the Achilles heel of the Democrats in this dysfunctional public schools. Let's say it again. Meanwhile, the Achilles heel of the Democrats is the dysfunctional public schools. That's an arena of battle which conservatives must make the most of if we are to win this life and death struggle between freedom and tyranny. I know it's radical, and I know that a lot of my friends are not my friends anymore. It's not totally my fault for that. I totally accept my side of it. I'm speaking out more. I'm showing you books that, again, I am loving you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I'm here for you. Try me. Read the book. Prove the book wrong. Okay? Get back to teaching the subject. Okay? You can still love the kid. Teach the subject. Right? That's what we want. All right. Thanks for listening. There's a Venmo account. We'd love to have your support. Until next time, stay involved in education. It's going to make a difference, good or bad.